Culturally, America is the most dominant country today. Everyone wants to watch American TV shows, listen to American music, and follows American politics.
See this here, look? That is America's only contribution to Western civilization.
And there are three important things to being culturally dominant: high incomes, a large market, and cultural freedom. And America has all three in spades. But other countries will grow faster and hit all three criteria, and then they will become culturally dominant.
Are you sure about that?
Maybe not in 10 years, maybe in 25, and very likely in 50 years, the market for popular cultural attention is going to be dominated by currently developing countries. But first, let me give a shout out to Pradyu Prasad from the Bretton Good Substack, who graciously allowed me to make a video about his Substack post. Being culturally dominant leads to soft power and produces economic benefits in the form of cultural exports. But being culturally dominant is also self-reinforcing, as culture has network effects. The more people that are part of one culture, the more people want to be a part of it. Currently, more people want to learn about American politics, if at least to understand what the cultural zeitgeist is all about. And this leads to it again being more dominant. But how does one country become culturally dominant in the first place? So there's three key building blocks for building cultural dominance, which I'll explain in detail. But essentially, you need a large population, that population must also be rich, and you need large levels of cultural freedom. Being rich is the clearest source of advantage in taking over the attention sphere, because until people hit a baseline level of income, they'll be spending their time and money on food and basic necessities. There's just not enough economic surplus left to work on technology, culture, and other luxury goods. There's no clear number, but hitting around $20,000 in GDP per capita might make a country rich enough to invest in these. That was when South Korea and Japan started to produce their cultural exports, like K-pop and anime, and when the US started to have its level of dominance after World War II, when GDP per capita was in the range of $17,000 adjusted for inflation and PPP. The side benefit of being richer is that countries get closer to the frontier of technological development. This leads not only to better quality media, but also better distribution. The best example of this? The internet. A lot of early content on the internet was made by Americans because they were the first to get in on it, which led to lock-in effects. Their history of technology has high levels of path dependence, and I expect any future technologies to have their own lock-in effects in terms of who has cultural dominance on them. The next source of advantage is sufficient population. There are strong economic reasons for why having a large internal market helps. It's much easier to spread fixed costs over a large customer base, which leads to lower prices, and a larger market just means that there's more money, leading to more specialisation. These arguments apply to America very well. There are over 300 million people in America with median nominal incomes of roughly $35,000 per person. If that market was smaller, then there would be a smaller quantity and a lesser variety in the marketplace for cultural goods. The same is true for politics, where a larger country means that there are a lot more influence the country has, which forces others to pay attention to it. So based off these two factors mentioned so far, why isn't China culturally dominant? China has a far larger population than America, and even though incomes are lower, Chinese GDP is around the same as America. Yet China's attention dominance is nowhere near America's. Technically, China does take up large amounts of time and attention in the rest of the world, but this is expressed in the form of negative attention. China meets the economic criteria for attention dominance, but it does not actually have attention dominance because it doesn't have cultural freedom at home or openness to foreign ideas and culture that would lead to a blooming cultural landscape. So this leads us to the third and final point for cultural dominance: cultural freedom. Restrictions on the type of art that can be produced hurt the quantity and quality of the art produced. The arts is not a lucrative profession. It is mostly subsidised by the large number of irrational young people willing to spend time looking for their big break. Restrictions on the arts not only make it less clear where the boundaries are and create tentative creatives, but also reduce the social status that art gets. This leads to a smaller domestic industry, lesser variety, and overall less soft power.
The influence
that United States culture has had on the rest of the world is really like nothing else. I mean, it's fucking wild. If you think about the music that's come out of here, the comedy, the films, the sports, the shit that's come out of the United States is bananas. And it came out in many ways because of the freedom that people were given by the Constitution and the Bill of Rights.
So let's do a real world case study. South Korea is the closest example we have of hitting all these three criteria, but achieving it on a smaller scale. It hit a high level of GDP per capita in 1994, and it had a liberalised media industry thanks to a 1996 judgment that declared censorship illegal. But it's largely lacking a third component, the large market. So the South Korean government decided to subsidise Korean cultural exports and sell abroad to overcome this. Thus, K-pop, movies and Korean drama has led to strong cultural impact outside Korea. And which countries are set to benefit in the future? Who might be the dominant cultural influences in 50 years' time? Looking at all these three criteria, you might be looking at Indonesia, Malaysia, China, Vietnam, India, Bangladesh, Mexico, Rwanda or Nigeria. Me personally, I'm very bullish on Indonesia, and I'm in the early stages of learning Bahasa Indonesia to take advantage of this in the future. But even if only a few of these above mentioned countries become developed countries, or even if they only become middle income countries, like Malaysia and China are now, the cultural implications will still be immense. So what does this all mean? As the rest of the world gets richer, their cultural impact will rise as well. The same flywheel that affected American media and led to its outsized influence in the market for attention will affect the rest of the world too. The first famous Nigerian or Indian or Indonesian film will invite interest in the next few, like it's happening now for Korean films, or it's happened in the past for Japanese video games and anime. A large enough cluster of these leads to a cottage industry forming around them. Fan pages start on social media, gossip websites report gossip, and the amount of attention given to these films increase. But movies and TV are small stakes compared to where the actual impact lies: online content creation. Memes that are thankful about Indian teachers on YouTube are common, but they have a clear point behind them. The number of content creators from currently developing countries will change the internet as we know it. By 2070, India's population is expected to be around 1.7 billion people. If English-speaking rates increase in India from the current 12% to a more modest 30%, say, that means that there'll be over 500 million Indian English speakers. English online culture will change because of this.
As Indians come online in particular, you would find that the cultural memes and conversations and motives would probably get Indianized to some degree.
And you can already see signs. Currently, 14 of the top 50 accounts on YouTube produce content in Hindi, and 16 of the top 50 are from India alone. It's quicker than ever to go viral, and so expect to see a large number of YouTubers and content creators online become popular even faster. So in summary, thanks to higher populations, high incomes, and cultural freedom, the future of the internet will be written by the people from currently developing countries. And again, massive thanks to Pradyu Prasad from the Bretton Good Substack. Be sure to sign up for his newsletter for some great insight. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, but until next time, have a good one.